thing with me, Mick Wright, aka the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy, and you can also get me on TikTok at Useless Conquests. If you're new to watching the show, either here on Twitch or in recap on YouTube, every day, every weekday, near enough to 1 p.m. UK time, I review the UK newspapers. Today's episode has the Times, the Telegraph, the Sun, and the Daily Mail. Pretty much a classic quadrangle of quite appalling journalism for us to enjoy. Enjoy being a word that I use extremely loosely. I'm just getting today's newspapers up so that I can put them into the space of shame. Extract. Boom. Yep, good. Okay, here we go. Hey, SK, how you doing? First through the door. This is a rare delight. Okay, we are going to start today with, do you know what? We'll start with the Sun. We'll go on to the Telegraph, then the Times, then the Daily Mail. I'm going to do a... Oh, you are? How are you finding it? Yes, if you have other time, if you wish to hear me more than once today, check out the latest episode of the Leftover podcast, where I appear talking about music journalism and the pipeline from music journalism to unhinged commentary. Right, that's what I say. We're going to start with the Sun. Yes, and today we'll do a speed run through the Telegraph, see if I can beat last week's, I believe, 5-minute record for that. Oh, hang on, I've not put this in the Discord either. Boop, beebadoo, beebadoo.
Leg's broken.
Why is it? Fucking hell! It wasn't when I pressed send either. Fucking shitty fucking Twitter. Thanks, love. What is on your stream tonight, SK? Since while I attempt to tweet this without it breaking, it has not broken this time. Good. Okay. Copy link. Go to this. Hey, Bad Motivator, how are you doing? Good to see you. What's occurring? Right.
No, it's still... Oh, maybe I haven't renewed it.
I just checked it myself, and it had it, and the new.
Oh yeah, no, it works.
Yeah, hold fire. Right. Okay. Boom. Right. We're ready to go. SK stream tonight is him playing Blood Bowl 2 from 6 o'clock. I am not familiar with Blood Bowl at all, but sounds great. So I will endeavour to tune in. I've obviously been catching up on the VODs and enjoying them as ever. Right, the Sun, here we go. Front page of the Sun. 6 delicious Kerridge recipe Tom's Bank Holiday BBQs. I've always been a massive hater of the abbreviation of barbecue to BBQ. Don't know why. Pages 12 and 13, they dedicate to the revelation that that David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston fancied each other when they worked on Friends, but were never single at the same time. Hey, Slinkermeyer. Oh, SK, new poll has just dropped. Okay, cool. Check that out on SK's Twitter, I guess. Also, here's a... Oh, no. Yeah, Con 44 +1, Labour 32 -2. Yeah, and Keir Starmer's net favourability rating at -25, while I believe Johnson's is -3. So yeah, amazing scenes. Although a couple of psephologists were saying that the Cummings stuff won't be reflected in this poll data yet. Okay, elsewhere on the front page. Hey, Guybrush, how you doing? Elsewhere on the front page of The Sun, the main story is Jesse snatch of the day. Watch nicked from dressing room at game. Football ace Jesse Lingard of West Ham is called cops after his watch was stolen from West Ham's dressing room during a game. At what point should this ever be a front page story? Never is the answer. Inside on page 3, that isn't page 3 but is page 3, Victoria's Secret angel Jasmine Tookes is pictured wearing a bikini, which is basically her job. Use of weapons, claims to have stolen Jesse Lingard's watch because, and I quote, fuck West Ham. But the interesting story on page 3 is not the fact that Jasmine Tookes is wearing a bikini, which is her job, but this. Crazy clickety chick Charlotte bingo gig. Charlotte Church is hoping for a full house at Pontin's bingo weekend. The crazy chick singer, 35, is bidding to launch a comeback when she headlines her first show in 2 years. A source told The Sun, getting Charlotte on board is a coup for Pontin's, but a bit of a low point in her career. This is The Sun, and more broadly News UK, still taking revenge on Charlotte Church for her accurate, direct and very strong testimony at the Leveson inquiry in 2011. Not that they hold a grudge or anything. Remember, of course, that Charlotte Church was forced to appear at and sing at one of Rupert Murdoch's weddings. I believe his wedding to Wendy Deng. He's now on, of course, his third marriage. Use of weapons. Remember some public pictures of Charlotte Church at 15 with some interesting comments. Yeah, well, I remember that story, but the one that people always talk about, the virginity countdown clock thing, was actually in the Daily Star. Yeah, but there was all sorts of grim stuff in the Sun, the Mail, all of those. Anyway, pages 4 and 5, they give us more detail on Jesse Lingard's watch. Exclusive, 3 Lions ace calls in the cops. Whoopie-doo. On page 7, Amanda Holden, who person in the room is a particular fan of. Yeah. There's a competition on her radio show to win £1 million. So they needed to promote that by Amanda Holden being pictured with £50 notes over her breasts and lady area. I'm a Celeb gets Bush okay. Jungle booked. The show is returning to Australia, they claim. On pages 8 and 9, don't let strain delay. June 21st, Freedom Day. 2 jabs does the job, is the headline from The Sun. You got to note when the Mail is saying this, The Sun is saying this. One of the reasons they're saying it is because they want their advertisers to do better so that their advertisers spend more money in the papers. Use of weapons says, I can exclusive report to this chat. His watch is very nice. I posted it back to him when he apologises for scoring against the Villa. Okay. On page 11, sex pest. Again, Selinka Meyer made this point yesterday. I fully agree with it. The phrase sex pest is so minimising when someone is guilty or accused of sexual harassment, sexual offences, all kind of stuff. Anyway, the Sun says Tory sex pest Rob Roberts was told to quit by his own colleagues last night. He really, really should quit. But frankly, there should be measures to ensure that this is possible. What really needs to happen is a by-election there. Is a by-election there. On page 11 also, what is that strange orange thing in the sky? Sun appears at last. Fucking hate this with tabloids. The reporting of weather, like normal weather phenomenon. The Sun has come out. Let's do a whole page story on that. On pages 12 and 13, they're still going over the big Friends reunion. The headline on this, the one that revealed Ross and Rachel had a thing in real life. But Ali Ross, not related to Ross from Friends, but as plagued by irrational anger, the Sun's TV columnist says, Friends, a show for people who don't have any. But remember, Ali Ross is the sort of person whose friends are always just out of shot. Use of weapons, newspaper called The Sun tells us about the Sun. Wow. Yep. Hey, Red Tick Seed, how you doing? Selinka Meyer agreed that the phrase sex pest does make it sound like a carry-on film, as if it's Sid James bulging his eyes out at the sight of Barbara Windsor's top pinging off in Carry On Camping. On page 15, Rashford quits racist teacher. Rashford outs racist teacher. Marcus Rashford outed a racist teacher who sent a mountain of monkey emojis to his Instagram account. Good. On page 14, £20 million Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce has made the world's most expensive car. The £20 million boat tail compete with a picnic table and parasol in the boot. Built using a chassis and engine of a Rolls Royce Phantom, the rest of the motor is bespoke to the customer's specifications, including 2 fridges. One of 3 ultra-exclusive vehicles made and took 4 years. Rolls Royce's Alex Innes said at a built-in brolly, the car is about enjoying the high life, so we need to offer provision for if you're under the midday sun. The firm's most expensive car previously was the 2017 Sweptail, which cost around $10 million. Like, it's whatever. It's a car, isn't it? We'll see that more in other papers as well. Ali Ross on his television page says, Eurovision hates us. Still, no excuse for Italy's Duff Leopard. I thought the Italy song was quite funny. Yeah, they've basically made a Thunderbirds car. Thank you, Red Tixid. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the episode of Leftover. If you're just joining us and you are not familiar with what that is, I was on the excellent Leftover podcast this week talking about the music journalist to insane columnist pipeline. It was a privilege and a pleasure to be asked on the show, and I really enjoyed it. And I think me, Arjun, and Nikita had pretty good conversation. I'm just gonna drop the link to that in the chat, so you can check it out if you want. Yes, I apologise for breaking your brain a bit, Industrial Pet. Right, elsewhere in here, the new series of Bridgerton is filming again. A waiter in a curry house gave a guy the Heimlich maneuver and saved him from choking. The headline they put on that, Spice of Life. In the Bazaar column, TikTok star Addison Rae, they say weird stuff about her. They get all like overexcited about her wearing fishnets. There's a picture of David Guetta looking very ripped. Alan Partridge is going on tour. He will be visiting Belfast, Dublin, Birmingham, Sheffield, Newcastle, Nottingham, Liverpool, Manchester, Cardiff, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Leeds and London. No stop off in Norwich. Forgotten his roots. Absolutely forgotten his roots. On page 22, IVF age tots up. Average test tube mother now 36 years old. Test tube mother. It's like the fucking 80s. On page 23, Kate, our fuchsia queen. She wore a pink dress to meet with a little girl who has cancer and had promised to wear the pink dress. I mean, whatever. Sad news that Eric Carlos died. He was 91. He was the writer and illustrator of The Hungry Caterpillar, amongst many other things. He unequivocally a good thing. A guy has spent his time travelling around Britain, visiting places with rude words for names, including Shitterton. There is a good Stuart Lee routine about Shitterton. On page 28, New Labyrinth is simply amazing. It is, so after weeks and weeks of promoting Thorpe Park on the front page of the paper, they write a piece about a new labyrinth that they've got at the park. And it doesn't say at the top that it's sponsored content, though it obviously is. On page 29, Mile High Cop. Drunk PC snogged lover on jet and flashed ID card. A cop who disrupted a holiday flight by drunkenly snogging his girlfriend has been found guilty of misconduct. John Ashton, 55, pulled out his police ID when asked to stop and demanded to see the captain. He and partner Diane Gill, 57, had been kissing energetically without coming up for air and had a complete disregard that they were in a public place. Oh, Jesus. Maura Higgins from Love Island went outside wearing clothes. That's a story. Slinkermeyer says, if it's not the Labyrinth from Labyrinth, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Use of Weapon says, Mick, what do you think of Buendia moving from Norwich to Arsenal, or more hopefully Villa? I think that Emmy is excellent, and I don't want him to move, basically. I'd like him to stay at the club. Middle pages of the Sun, pages 30 and 31, is Tom Kerridge with some recipes. Smoky prawns cooked in foil, coleslaw with radish and spring onion, the ultimate hot dog. What makes it ultimate? It looks nice. Anyway, courgette and halloumi skewers, I could go for that. Stuffed sweet potatoes, and barbecue chicken wings 3 ways. Fair enough. Today's TV recommendations are a 90-minute tribute to Paul Ritter from Friday Night Dinner. It was really sad that he passed away. On at 9 p.m. Athletics, the Diamond League in Doha is on at BBC 2 at 5 p.m. Thailand's Tiger Kingpins, an unreported world investigation into the battle to save the country's tigers from poachers and smugglers, is on Channel 4 at 7:30 p.m. And the Kaminsky Method returns to Netflix today. Don't know why Norwich would sell him, so I'm somewhat confused. Yeah, I agree, Dan Jones. I agree with Dan Jones. Why would they strengthen another mid-table rival? In Dear Deirdre, in the case book, Bonnie and her mum's fella reaches the day 5, the denouement. She's had sex with her mum's boyfriend in the car. Hello, Studying Fangirl. Good to see you. In Fab Daily, various pajamas are reviewed by stylist Abby McHale. Person in the room, would you wear any of these?
I can't see if you do that.
I'm just showing the stream.
That's not... Is that even pyjamas?
Apparently.
No.
No is the answer. No is the answer.
Wear pyjamas anyway.
Well, yes, I know that. Shock news there. In the £50 letter today comes from John Roberts, who writes, Dominic Cummings was chief advisor to Boris Johnson during the early months of the COVID pandemic. So why is he blaming everyone else for the mistakes that were made? If the PM had not sacked him, would he have disclosed everything that he has? I think not. This is just an underhand way of discrediting Boris. The PM was confronted by an emergency never encountered by our country in modern times and had to listen to advice from his scientists and health experts and make some difficult decisions. Yes, mistakes were made. 130,000 people died. But he had put measures in place to rectify this, and the vaccination programme has saved countless lives. If it is the envy of every country in the world. Inaccurate. So, Prime Minister, carry on making Britain great again and ignore any of the rantings of your vengeful former friend. John in Richmond says, it's disgusting to see people believe in every word Dominic Cummings is saying about Boris. He wasn't entirely honest about his trip to Durham after all. Carl writes, what Dominic Cummings said about something going terribly wrong when Britain gets a choice between Boris Johnson or Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister is correct. And Mick says, not me, says, Dominic Cummings was a Downing Street advisor. If what he is saying is true, he was clearly not doing his job very well. There we go. Yeah, he's just a small bean doing his best, says Guybrush Tweetgood. Making Britain great again. Give me fucking strength, this Slinker. Agreed. Communic Dumplings, says Use of Weapons. Red Tickseed. Person in the room would buy those pyjamas if they had coins on them. Yeah, fact.
Coins.
She loves coins. Loves coins. That's Christmas this year. It's just going to be coins. Variety of different... I'm still waiting on the Philip coin, by the way. Studying Fangirl says exclusive cop probe sounds like a terrible porno. Use of Weapons. I'm just a small bean Prime Minister. Please don't be mean to me. I made a little oopsie and killed 100,000 people. Yep. The Cruella de Vil prequel, Cruella, gets 5 stars in the review section. The documentary about Alex Ferguson, so Alex Ferguson, Never Give In, gets 3 stars. The latest installment in the Conjuring series, Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It, gets 3 stars. And in the sport, Spurs exclusive. Levy fancies his chances of getting Poch. Deal would boost hopes of keeping Kane. Back for more is the headline. Back for more. Sorry to tell you that Prince Philip is dead. Coins wrapping paper, coins Christmas decoration. Yeah, I mean, she'll love it. She'll love it. She definitely... I'm looking now and she looks delighted at the prospect of a fully coin-themed Christmas.
No.
Use of Weapons, The Devil Made Me Do It. Sounds like an excuse I get from year 7s. Fair enough. Right, yeah, give me your scores for the Sun today. That's a minus 69 from me. Just a standard shitty day from them. Right. I am now going to attempt to speed run through the Telegraph. Use of weapons gives the Sun a glowing orb out of 10. Red Tick Seed says, holy shit, Prince Philip is dead, etc., etc. I feel like you're not committing to the bit as much as you used to. Yuan gives the Sun a 3 fishes. Red Tick Seed, come on, guys, you can't force it. Well, okay. So, let's see. My current record for the Daily Telegraph speed run is a flabby 5 minutes. Let's see if I can bring it down to 4 minutes. Right. Hey Google, set a timer for 4 minutes.
Sure, 4 minutes, and we're starting now.
Okay, here we go. Front page of the Daily Telegraph. The odious Fraser Nelson says, Dominic Cummings is ignoring crucial facts that tell a very different story. Fraser Nelson picks his facts very carefully in that column. If you want to know more about that, check out today's newsletter, brokenbottleboy.substack.com. Elsewhere, we are predicted that we'll get Nicola Mendelsohn saying, I still can't hug my son. Michael Deacon pretending to be Dylan the dog. Judith Woods writing about her own flat-sharing adventures in the 90s on the back of Friends, and something about how the 70s dinner party is back, which seems to be something that all the papers are going on about, as if which is based on some bullshit PR. Main story is Hancock feels heat over care home tests. Elsewhere on the front page, call for UN inquiry into theory that COVID emerged from lab. Drivers to see red at mayor's traffic lights, more like meaningless attacks on Sadiq Khan. Schools warn of social media Palestinian rally, more anti-Palestinian shit. Russia bars EU airlines in row over Belarus. Carbon tax on imports could protect farmers, more briefing out of the government. And more briefing out of Manchester United, an institution almost as bad as the government, suggesting that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could get a new contract. Inside the paper, a whole page on the Duchess of Cambridge wearing a pink dress. A story following up on that Palestinian story saying social media stoking pupils Gaza protests. The implication being that pupils aren't entitled to protest about Gaza. On pages 4 and 5, what the hell has happened? Johnson asked after learning of care home crisis. In the analysis, so did this self-appointing judge have all the answers? And more like, is Cummings telling the truth or not? Curate's egg as ever. Madeline Grant in the sketch says, I'm Matt Hancock, they cried, like a blue rosetted version of Spartacus. Such an obvious reference. Elsewhere in the analysis, Cummings articulated what many have long known he should never have been in charge, says Gordon Rayner. Funny, the Telegraph was saying different things when he actually was in government. On page 6, Freedom Day hangs in the balance, but power of jabs brings hope. Yeah, all right. Vaccine bus gives migrants hope. Very weird one here. Thousands flock to facility in Soho's Chinatown to receive jabs without need for proof of residency. Lots of racialized coded language in that story. Facebook lifts ban on man-made COVID claims amid pressure of Wuhan inquiry. There's a massive page lead on the £20 million Rolls Royce and a suggestion that Beyonce and Jay-Z have been rumoured to have been the ones who commissioned it. No proof of that at all. Here is a picture of a dancing lemur. We are pro the dancing lemur on this stream. Slink and Meyer, totally agree. I am also tired of the Freedom Day stuff. Hunt for Fred West, victim under cafe, found nothing. 20-fold rise in IVF for women over 40. We'll dispatch an officer to every burglary, new police chief vows. That's the new head of Greater Manchester Police. I will believe that when I see it, and I'm not sure that's the right thing to be doing. Britain denies Russian claim it expelled Navy warship from its seas. HS2 dishonest and misleading when buying families home. Dame Joan Collins, 88, is pictured just being Joan Collins. The Afghan embassy staff offered move to Britain. UK has moral obligation to help workers and avoid a Saigon moment as international forces leave. Israeli strikes in Gaza may be war crimes, says new UN chief. No shit. France bears blame for Rwanda genocide after standing by regime, Macron admits. Here is a picture, a really cool picture of a pigeon keeper in Havana with 2 of his pigeons. Smoking proves tough habit to kick for the French cinema. Very hard to find French films where there is no smoking. Jemima Lewis says, I can live without immortality. Damn it. Okay. Okay, so I've not managed the 3 minutes there. Thank you. Let's see if I can get it done in 5. 2 more minutes to go. I can't live without immortality, but making it to 150 would be perfect, says Jemima Lewis. Fraser Nelson says, the crucial facts coming left out tell a very different story. As I said, if you want to know more on that, look in today's newsletter, brokenbottleboy.com. Kate Fall writes, without complete trust, number 10 falls apart. Yeah, all right. She was a deputy chief of staff to David Cameron. Jeremy Warner says, a Swiss Brexit would be a calamity for the EU. In the features and arts, my cancer means the vaccine doesn't work, so I face more shielding, says Facebook's Nicola Mendelsohn. Very sad. Genuinely very sad. Michael Deacon writes an extremely dubiously funny in parts thing, pretending to be Dylan the dog. Judith Wood says, friends, I shudder to remember my flat sharing days. More on the bloody land yachting thing. Be a hostess with the mostest again. Things, how to do a 70s dinner party. They like Mayor of Easttown. They write about the Goon Show 70 years on. Son of a Spy Who Made Stars of the Police. They're talking about Miles Copeland's new memoir, which reflects on 50 years in the music business. His father, of course, was a CIA boss. A Quiet Place 2 gets 4 stars. The Conjuring Devil Made Me Do It gets 3 stars. Frankie gets 3 stars. And First Cow gets 5 stars. In the obituaries, Eric Carle, writer of The Hungry Caterpillar, amongst other things, and Barney Curley, figure in racing, who we talked about another day. They recommend Friday Night Dinner, 10 Years and a Lovely Bit of Squirrel to watch tonight. And that is the Telegraph, done in 4 minutes. So I brought it down from the 5 last week, but still think I can do it in 3. Give me your scores for that fast run through the Daily Telegraph as we move on to the Times, cruising towards the end of this week's the paper thing. Hey, Ged Station, good to see you. Slinker Meyer says she thinks I lose 2 minutes just wrestling with the giant sheets of paper it's printed on. Yeah, but I will get in training and see if I can do better. Alright, so here we go with the Times. Today's Times, top of the page, why Anthony Hopkins' wife stopped him going to the Oscars. How green is your postcode? Police failings exposed as thousands of at-risk girls go missing. This is actually a solid bit of investigation by the Times, although, as usual, quite a lot of, heavily layered on racial implications. Slinker Meyer gives the Telegraph a -68, a +1 for the Lemur. Stunning Fangirl rates it minus. Pink Dress out of 10. Yuan, thank you. Yes, a new PB for me. Use of Weapons gives the Telegraph minus 5999, a +1 for the Lemur. Okay, elsewhere on the Times' front page, Indian surge leaves end to restrictions in doubt. PM support for Hancock after claims he told lies. The support is not amazing. Gold star for trying, yeah. Minus all the 9s from Red Tick Seed. Inside, Life's a Picnic with £20 million Rolls Royce on page 3. Smooth Secret of Dark Matter could put Einstein in a new light. Universe is slightly smoother than it should be, and in that smoothness may lie a problem for Einstein. Scientists have produced the most detailed map yet of dark matter, the hidden material that clumps together to make up the bulk of the universe. However, in common with other recent research, they have found that the matter is not clumped together as much as general relativity says it should be. Okay. Page 5, Hammond on collision course over Castle. Television presenter Little Richard Hammond is affectionately known as the Hamster, but he doesn't live in a cage and he doesn't shit in ripped up newspapers. But that's not stopped him making grand plans for a large extension at his historic estate. Basically, neighbours don't like it. A villager is sued for libel over townie jibe. A patch of grass outside a cottage is at the centre of a high court battle between a townie couple and locals who claim that their village green has been stolen. Bridget Kelly, who became a church bell ringer on moving to Cumbria, and her partner Richard Wozniak, a retired dentist from Fleet, Hampshire, have told the court that they escaped 6 years ago to Roskilde with a population of 50. They were criticising an online blog by Chloe Randall, however, what other kind of blog is there, who claimed that the patch, about 20 by 10 yards, should be classed as a village green. Locals claimed that they were defending their right to park and drive around the patch, which they had been accustomed to using for hundreds of years. Wozniak and Kelly, who was an accountant at PricewaterhouseCoopers, says that Randall's blog, concerned of Ross Gill, branded them as social pariahs and townies. They said that they were accused online of being bullies and liars. They insisted that the blog post had ruined their standing in the community, barring them from social events. They are seeking libel damage of £40,000. All we wanted and still want is to be left in peace, Kelly told Mr. Justice Sewell. She said that they had suffered several incidents of people mowing the patch, blocking their access and driving over it. She said she and her partner were told that they would be dealt with by community law. Sounds so hot fuzz. Randall, an administrator and woolen tie maker, has denied libel. She said that when the blog began in 2017, she was pursuing a case with the local council which led to the track beside the green being declared a bridleway. The hearing continues. Yeah. Totally Village Green Protection Society loves small town drama. Yeah, and imagine small town drama like that getting put on page 3 of the Times, the so-called paper of record. On pages 6 and 7, we could not test patients sent to care homes, Hancock admits. Quentin Letts is a piece of shit as ever. On pages 8 and 9, average age of infected falls to 29 after jabs blitz. Yeah, no shit. Get station. Oh no, people are mowing my glass for me. Guybrush Tweetgood, how is that in a national newspaper? I know, it's insane. Slinker is getting flashbacks to growing up in a village. Small town England is a special type of insane. Absolutely agree. Go with it. Michael Go says there's still a chance we won't need COVID passports. Guarantee we end up having COVID passports. On page 11, Dr. Christian Jetson has been found guilty of libeling Arlene Foster and faces a libel bill of £425,000. Likelihood is that will be reduced on appeal because they almost always are. Lord Winston says that homework should be abandoned so children can focus on hobbies which are more useful. I think that is sensible. The other problem with homework is it's massively class based. Kids from homes that are have more space and more time and whatever do better at homework than kids from families without access to those resources. After school clubs are a better use of that time. Drone cameras trained to spot cancerous cells. This framing is so massively twisted, right? Tom Whipple, science editor of the Telegraph, Times, writes this first paragraph of this about drone cameras that were previously developed in military drones. Once this technology was used to spot and eliminate malignant terrorist cells. Now it is being adapted to take out a different kind of malignant cell. Cancerous ones. Jesus Christ. Page 13. Stonewall suffers fresh setback in trans advice row. Yet again, not a day goes past without the Times having these anti-trans stories in them. Not a day goes by. This paper is obsessed more than any other paper. The Times is the turfiest paper in Fleet Street. And talking about things that are never not in papers. Orwell's Nightmare could come true, warns tech boss. Please read another book. Please read another one of George Orwell's books that isn't 1984 or Animal Farm if you have to read more fucking Orwell. And if you're gonna talk about Franz Kafka, actually have read some Kafka instead of saying everything is Kafkaesque and everything is fucking Orwellian. By the way, oh god. Anyway, this story, Brad Smith of Microsoft said Orwell's idea of a government knowing what its citizens are doing and saying at all times is already becoming a reality in some parts of the world. No shit. Yes, we live in surveillance states. George Orwell's dystopian vision of the world in his novel 1984 could come to pass in 2024 if artificial intelligence is not better regulated, the president of Microsoft has warned. Don't need artificial intelligence to live in a surveillance state. Oh, yeah, very Orwellian of me, says Get Station. That rant is Kafkaesque use of weapons, you motherfuckers. We already live in a surveillance society. But, right, here's the thing, right? Fucking net store cards are part of the surveillance society, right? Every aspect of modern marketing is part of a surveillance society. The British state is in bed with so many companies who are surveillance companies. Take a look at how much Palantir has been allowed through the door since this pandemic. The whole thing is fucking insane that we get told, oh, well, you better watch out now that there's AI. Oh, it might help to automate some of the surveillance that already fucking exists. Anyway, moving on. Pages 14 and 15. Actually, a decently solid journalism from George Greenwood and Paul Morgan Bentley about essentially what happens when vulnerable young people disappear for periods, and those disappearances are not followed up, and very often those disappearances are tied to the sexual exploitation of those children. Basically, we were told lessons have been learned from previous scandals around this, and shock news, lessons have not been learned. Guy was treat good. I'm going to do a cutting-edge cartoon where kids are fixed to their dang phones like in 1984. Pages 16 and 17. Do the honourable thing, Rees Mogg tells sex pest story. Again, here we go. The Times likes to pretend that it's better than the Sun, right? But its angle on this MP being found to have sexually harassed his employees is to go with the tabloid phrasing sex pest, which is minimising. I feel like Mugatu today. Like I feel like I've been taking crazy pills. Page 17. Heroic effort brings lewd Greek lexicon up to a date. Odysseus, Homer's wandering hero, spent 20 years fighting the Trojan War, trying to get back home. James Diggle, great name, a classics professor at Cambridge, spent 3 years longer on his own epic quest, and he did not have Odysseus' excuse of being seduced by a sea nymph for a third of it. After 23 years of reviewing the whole of ancient Greek literature, Diggle and his team have produced a Greek dictionary, the first to take a fresh look at the language in 170 years. In doing so, he promised to spare no blushes, unveiling the true meanings of crude ancient words that were denied to English scholars by Victorian prudes. Although the notion that Victorians were prudes is historically anachronistic. The 1,500-page Cambridge Greek lexicon is intended to replace the standard reference that is H.G. Liddell and Robert Scott's Intermediate Greek-English lexicon, a slimmer version of the author's 116,000-word dictionary of 1843 known as Great Scott. The new dictionary is easier to follow with different fonts and a better structure to guide students, and uses modern language to clarify meanings obscured by antiquated phrasing or modesty. For example, the verb chezo, translated by Liddell and Scott as to ease oneself, do one's need, is defined in the new dictionary as to defecate. Binio is no longer rendered in Latin and English as inea coita of illicit intercourse, but more straightforwardly as fuck. Lycazo, which the Victorians translated to wench, is now perform fellatio, and if that were not clear enough, spelt out as to suck cocks. The classical scholar John Chadwick came up with the idea for the project in 1997, shortly before he died. It was hoped it might be completed in 5 years. Diggle said it quickly became clear it was not possible to merely revise Liddell and Scott. It was better to start afresh by compiling a new lexicon. If we were going to do it, we must do it thoroughly. For the last 15 years or more, I did little else. The dictionary, which is 600 pages longer than the intermediate Liddell and Scott, contains 37,000 words, cites 90 authors stretching from the first text of Homer's epic poems in the 6th century to the biographer Plutarch in the 2nd century AD. While Liddell and Scott arranged entries chronologically, the Cambridge book organises words according to the development of their meaning, beginning with the root and then tracing the application of that word in the different contexts. This sounds so good. I want this. This is amazing. The writer and broadcaster Natalie Haynes said that when she studied Latin and Greek at school, some words were so filthy they didn't appear in our dictionaries. When she went to Cambridge, she was promised enlightenment. I would finally know where the masseur was putting his hand, she said, but the Latin dictionary gave only a translation into Greek, and when she cross-checked it in Liddell and Scott, it offered only the Latin. The new lexicon will be appreciated by translators as filthy comedy, she said. My rule of thumb with Aristophanes was to assume any word I couldn't identify meant vagina. David Butterfield, lecturing classics at Cambridge and a colleague of Diggle at Queen's College, called the work the largest scale project of new lexicography on Greek literature since the 16th century. As Liddell and Scott has been based on earlier German dictionaries. This scholarly achievement is nothing short of titanic, Butterfield said. It's the most important book from the Queen's Classic stable since Erasmus worked up his Greek New Testament here in the 1510s. Though unlikely to bring about societal change on quite the same scale as the Reformation, it is a cause of immense pride and joy. That is a cool story. Ancient Latin Profanosaurus, pretty much. Use of weapons. Nice of them to update the Greek dictionary about 8 years after I finished having to study the ancient Greek language, you fucks. That's a great story. Agatha Christie town ready to make a killing as a tourist attraction. The latest Agatha Christie tale looks set for an unremarkable ending last month when her home of 42 years went on the market for 2.75 million. Could still yet have a twist, however, after Oxfordshire local launched an appeal for fans to help them buy it and turn it into a tourist attraction. Another picture of the lemur. Hello, Mr. Gump. A former accounts manager has been inundated with job offers after he wrote on LinkedIn about picky colleagues complaining of hairnets and boredom. Lee Moore, 36, wrote of his dismay when 4 workers walked out of a shift at a food packing factory. Moore said he was shocked by their excuses for downing tools and walking out early. His post on LinkedIn, the platform for job seekers, attracted 4.6 million views. Nobody should get fame from LinkedIn. Enemy hackers target NATO with constant cyber attacks. Claims Larissa Brown, writing from a press visit to the HMS Elizabeth. James Forsyth writes his usual column sucking up to his wife's boss. Again, if you want to know more about that, I seriously do. I think, I always think I do a decent enough job on the newsletter, but I think today's is a particularly good one, and I'd really appreciate if you could share it if you do read it and think it's worthy of that. Emma Duncan writes, Tories should take on farmers over free trade. Anna Murphy says she thinks David Hockney's brilliant. Has she seen the thing he did for bloody the Tube? Gerard Baker says, if COVID leaked, China's credibility is in tatters. I don't think China gives a fuck about its credibility. It's David Baddiel's birthday. He's 57. Carol Baker is 90. She's an actress. Minette Batters, the funniest named president of any of the unions. She's president of the National Farmers Union. Is 54. Andrew Bowie, the Conservative MP, the worst person to have the surname Bowie, is 34. Sir David Brewer, chairman of St Paul's Cathedral's Governing Council till 2020 and Lord Lieutenant of Greater London until 2015, is 81. Lisa Berger, joint chief executive of the National Theatre, is 59. Brian Clark, an author and journalist and fishing correspondent for The Times until 2018, is 83. John Fogerty, the singer, songwriter and guitarist, special happy birthday to him. He is 76. Roland Gift, the musician, Fine Young Cannibals, also excellent, is 60. Rudy Giuliani is 77. Fuck you. Dan Jago is 60. He is the chairman and chief executive of James Purdy and Sons, the Gunmakers. Gladys Knight, special happy birthday to her, is 77. Sir Patrick McNair Wilson, the Conservative MP until 1997, is 92. Kylie Minogue, very much happy birthday to her. There's no way she looks 53. Dame Janet Paris, because she's had so much Botox. Dame Janet Paraskiva, the chairwoman of the Council of Licensed Conveyancers and the first Civil Service Commissioner until 2010, is 75. Johnny Peacock, the sprint 2-time Paralympic gold medalist, is 28. Mary Portas, retail consultant and broadcaster, is 61. Stanley B. Prusiner, the neurologist and biochemist and Nobel Prize winner in 1997, is 79. Anne Reid, the actress, is 86. Justin Russell, HM Chief Inspector of Probation, is 56. Sir Charles Saumarez Smith, art historian, secretary and chief executive of the Royal Academy of the Arts, is 67. William Shawcroft, writer, broadcaster, independent reviewer of Prevent, and chairman of the Charity Commission until 2018, is 75. And Simon Walker, chairman designate of the Trade Remedies Authority, director general of the Institute of Directors till 2017, is 68. On this day in 1951, the BBC first aired the radio show Crazy People that went on to become The Goon Show. The quote of the day comes from Herbert Spencer's Principles of Ethics. Every man is free to do that which he wills, provided he infringes not the equal freedom of any other man. We could update that. I mean, he did write that in 1897. Jesus, Giuliani is only 77, says Lincoln Meyer. Imagine that. Grilling Pirate Pete, China's reputation is in such tatters the Hollywood celebs think about waiting 5 minutes before apologising to them. Yeah. Use of weapons, says he's hacking NATO right now in a Minecraft simulation. World news, I'll flood EU with migrants and drugs, warns Lukashenko. Lukashenko. He's such an incredible piece of shit. Rome consumed by sinkholes. Jesus Christ, look at that. Iran-backed rebels storm Baghdad's green zone. Apparently. This is a big... And where have they put this story up? Page 30. In America, a pupil praised Hitler in a school yearbook. A New York high school is recalling its yearbook because a graduating senior listed Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf as his favourite book. Cambridge Junior Senior High School stopped distributing the yearbook 2 days after its release when it noticed the entry. Douglas Silvernail, superintendent of the school, said he was horrified. Right-wing nationalists take lead in German poll. That's the... AfD have rose to first place in the poll before a state election in Saxony-Anhalt. Cryptocurrencies are banned in Iran after crippling power cuts. Depp may sue campaign group over Heard article. When Amber Heard described herself as a victim of domestic violence in a column for the Washington Post, it prompted a $50 million libel action by her ex-husband Johnny Depp. Now there's speculation that he may sue the American Civil Liberties Union over the article. Jesus Christ. In Times 2, the front page thing is about Anthony Hopkins' wife. We're not going to go through the Times 2 today. It's whatever. There you go. Pets in Home has done extremely well during the lockdown, as you'd expect. Corin Uncorked. They're still trying to make people think that listening to Giles Corin is good. He talks so fast on the radio that he's almost unintelligible. And when you can tell what he's saying, it's the most banal, self-serving bullshit, as you expect. The British bed chain Dreams has been sold to the US mattress giant Tempur Sealy International in a £340 million deal. Grilling Pirate Pete, high schooler tries to shock everyone. Amazing, never happened before. Yeah, I know, ridiculous, isn't it? In the Register, Eric Carle it gets the main obituary. He was, of course, children's author and illustrator who, inspired by a hole punch, produced the Very Hungry Caterpillar, which has sold 50 million copies to date. Also in the obits, Lord Walpole, affable descendant of Britain's first Prime Minister, who's dedicated custodian of his family's estates in Norfolk. He's died at age 82. And Jan Braz, prisoner of war who worked on the Burma Railway and walked through a decimated Nagasaki after the bomb was dropped, has died at 98. Rest of his life career was spent as an ophthalmic surgeon. In the ads, advent for Pearson's Online Global Academy. It's an online secondary school for students. Pearson's Online UK Global is a high quality personalised online private school delivering Pearson EdXL International GCSEs and A-levels for 14 to 18-year-olds. Like an online... What? This is like... Send your kid to Pearson's online private school. How bizarre. Trying to sell you beds, trying to sell you ugly shirts. Yeah, fuck Pearson's, worst textbook publisher. Absolutely agree. Pearson's go fuck themselves. In the sport, Yorkshire's young Duke digs in, but White Rose look well short. That's the cricket. Jofra Archer could be out for the whole summer, but Stokes is doing well. Report on women's rugby. Twin talents inspiring Saracens charge. Naomi Ahsoka says she's going to appear at far fewer media conferences because they're damaging her mental health. Absolutely back her on that. Good on her. Pochettino and Levy must swallow pride to enable reunion is the Spurs story. Can Hawkeye end offside fast? Doubt it. Solskjaer must be brutal like Ferguson, says Matt Dickinson. United lack of depth has become a fatal flaw. This is Guardiola's moment. Watch out for a masterstroke is their run-up to the Champions League thing. And computer to rule on offside is the back page story in the sport. There you go. It's, I don't know, a minus 25 for me. Not the worst from the time. No, actually, no. Bullshit. Minus 69.69. I've just remembered today's particularly hateful turf story. They didn't get a quintuple minus 69 because of the quite good reporting on police failings with vulnerable children. Right, that is the Times, and we come now to the Daily Mail, our final paper for the week. I'm just going to do the roll call first. Grilling Pirate Pete, American question. In America, sports ratings are tanking. How are they doing in the UK? Not so bad. Not as bad as in the US. Yuan, 3 fishes for the Times. Use of weapons, turfs go in the sea out of 10, and red tick seed minus all the numbers, transphobia, and no coins. Right, so yeah, quick run through the roll call, and then we will finish with the Daily Mail before person in the room and I go for a Friday lunchtime drink. I'm the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy, of course. If you enjoy the show, and I hope you do, please consider chucking some coins into the newspaper fund. You can see the link above me. It helps keep the show going, and it also helps me to do magazine specials, and I hope to do a very special magazine special on Bank Holiday Monday. In the mod squad today, we've got Guybrush, Tweetgood, and SK the Crusader. SK is on tonight at 6, playing a game called Blood Bowl 2, I think. I hope I got that right. Also in the chat, Academy Impossible, Aiton, Bad Motivator, Carbot 14, XYZ, Cashering, Chris McRae, Commander Root, Dan Jones 3142, Dearth, Discord for small streamers, Domestic Ladio, Ged Station, Grilling Pirate Pete, Industrial Pet, Maureen Skell, Mr. Creeper 905, Mr. Gump, Peabodge, Red Tick Seed, Rosie, Rose, Selinka Maya, Snur, Studying Fangirl, Cider Streams, Toms, The Royal Flush, Use of Weapons, V&K, Virgo Pros, Yuan, and Zoe Brings Bacon. Thank you all for joining me today. Use of Weapons, oh shit, Monday's a bank holiday. I get the off, I get it off for Children's Day. Nice. I get Tuesday off for Children's Day. Nice. Sinkamaya, minus 69.69, only slightly savaged by missing girls reporting an ancient dick jokes. Yeah, lexicography, good. Transphobia, not. Guest station, always a pleasure. Yes. All right, so here we go. Here's the Daily Mail. Front page of the Daily Mail. They're back on their Let's Spring Clean Britain bullshit. And the main story is Don't Steal Our Summer. Again, coming out to defend, to push for the June 21st final unlocking, basically because they want to help their advertisers. Kate keeps her vow to Cancer Girl who stole our hearts is the other story on the front page. On pages 2 and 3, help bin lockdown litter, carpets of face masks, a winter of rubbish. But from today, we can all make Britain beautiful again, and here's how. Or, the taxes that we pay could be used to properly clean things and give people actual jobs rather than trying to dragoon Daily Mail readers into it. On page 5, Pinky Promise, Kate keeps her vow to brave Mila. 5. On pages 6 and 7, Boris, Dom's a fantasist. Day after that, Domshell, PM Savage's ex, advises toxic claims and says they don't bear any relation to reality. Daily Mail, I'm begging you, stop trying to make Domshell happen. The note that put Carrie in the doghouse, they have the full text of a letter where Carrie Simons allegedly wanted to send to the Times complaining about stories mugging off her dog, Dylan. On pages 10 and 11, 3 and 4 new cases are Indian variant is the claim. And at the bottom of page 11, England rugby star won't try vaccine. Rugby star player Henry Slade has said he will not have a COVID vaccine, claiming he does not agree with it at all. The reporting of this stuff is ridiculous, particularly as this guy is a diabetic, so at high risk, and he puts insulin into his body every day. Insulin that is, made by, in a very similar way to how this vaccine is made. Fucking idiot. Guybrush tweet good. I don't know, I'm happy to have a bunch of geriatric mail readers out in the cold and wet picking up rubbish. Might think they hurt a little. Oh no. It's the herd immunity thing has returned. Page 12, GP swamped by patient tsunami. Page 13, BBC radio presenter 44 died from clot after AstraZeneca jab. The reporting on this is being very irresponsible as well. As we know, the clotting side effect is a rare one, and massive reporting of this will make other people scared of the jabs, and that is not a good idea. On page 15 of the Mail, more reporting on the Rolls-Royce, £20 million Rolls-Royce. Of course, the Mail sort of does it like a Haynes manual. On page 16, a full-page report on the death of Damien Lewis's nephew months and months ago, but there's an inquest into it at the moment. He died in a car accident. You know, Slinkermeyer, the risk of clotting from the pill is way higher, but they never talk about that. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up again. You're right to do so. Yeah, we talked about that before when stories about the clotting first came up. Page 17, Pints of Wales, mask up. Charles cheers return of the high street. What a fucking tedious photo op. Look at him drinking that pint as if he's never been near a beer before. Fergie goes to war on giant Amazon depot. Duchess of York has launched a campaign against plans for what would become a vast Amazon warehouse near her childhood home. Her reason for doing so is not people, but trees. Trees, admittedly, it's important to defend ancient trees. Of course it is, but this is like... there are many reasons to be anti-Amazon warehouses, and her only reason is effectively a form of NIMBYism. Use of weapons. Charles has never drunk a duff in his life. No, he is not. He has never drunk a duff in his life. Page 19. The caterpillar who crept out from Nazi horror is just 224 words long, but sold 40 million copies with an army of A-list fans. But as he dies at 91, few know the inspiring story of its creator's own metamorphosis. I hate this shit where they keep saying, oh, The Very Hungry Caterpillar is only 224 words long. It's a work of genius. You should be saying that, like, that's a genius thing about it. It's a brilliant kids' book for that reason. Page 21, Rishi, I didn't do Greensill a favour, Chinny Recon. Page 22 and 23, Sharks sink teeth into RAC. More of the Daily Mail going after private equity. Alison Boshoff. Right, divorce that's heading from Brad to worse. Double page spread on the Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt thing still going on. They cover the Friends thing on page 29. Once again, they call that Tory MP a sex pest. Use of weapons. Kids shouldn't read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's too short. Give them Anna Karenina. Did someone say metamorphosis? Hashtag Kafkaesque. This is Dan Jones, 3142. On pages 30 and 31, a tedious article about kids who never leave home. Why might that be? On page 33, townies have stolen our village green. Dispute over patch of grass turns into £40,000 libel case. Guess what? The Daily Mail is on the side of the angry villagers. May 28th, 2021 is today. And on this day column, we have an extract from the Daily Mail on the 28th, 1941. Cafes and restaurants who are to have supplies of sugar to serve with tea and coffee. After all, a Ministry of Food official announced yesterday that the plan to stop the supply in June has been postponed. Not having sugar in their tea and coffee would irritate many people, the official said, and we are anxious to avoid this. On this day, May 28, 1964, the Daily Mail wrote, the Queen's state visit to West Germany next May will be planned so that she can be seen by as many young Germans as possible. This much-delayed visit is intended to seal a major act of reconciliation after 2 world wars. The Queen, who is 38, has never been to the country from which her Hanoverian forebears came. They say happy birthday to Anne Reid, 86, and to David Baddiel, who is 57. Born on this day also, W.G.G. Duncan Smith, died in 1996, born in 1914. He's the father of Ian Duncan Smith and was an RAF ace who flew Spitfires in the Battle of Britain and was dubbed Master of the Skies. He brought down 19 enemy aircraft and survived for 4 years when the life expectancy of a pilot was 4 weeks. His son, ex-Tory leader Ian Duncan Smith, wears his signet ring engraved with the family motto, Vita Veritas, a truthful life. Ian Duncan Smith, A Truthful Life. Satire is dead and they digged it up again. Dug it up again, sorry. Gordon Willis, 1931 to 2014. The American cinematographer worked on 1970s classics Godfather, Annie Hall, and Clute. He was nicknamed the Prince of Darkness, saying, "We start with a black sheet of paper and paint in the light." On May 28th, in 1937, Neville Chamberlain succeeded Stanley Baldwin as Prime Minister. He served for 3 years before being replaced by Churchill in May 1940. In 2014, poet and author Maya Angelou died on this day. Quote of the day, Cicero, the Roman statesman, said, "Diseases of the soul are both more dangerous and more numerous than those of the body." Joke of the day. What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer. Guybrush Tweetgood, fuck me, IDS is an even bigger fail son than I knew. Exactly. Use of weapons, Daily Mail, 1941. Unfortunately, our lads in Stalingrad have lost. Knit more balaclavas so our brave boys can defeat the Slavic menace. Jesus. Maureen Skell, please collect 5 tokens and send £4.99 for your Daily Mail burning torch and pitchfork. Yeah. Januar is angry about various things. A giant 16th century tapestry has been restored in a 20-year project at Hardwick Hall. It's quite impressive. Reading DM Daily Mail is a disease of the soul. Luckily, I am vaccinated against it. The Daily Mail, weeks and at least a week after all the other papers, gets round to the pictures of the people with their insane gun collections. The new album from Texas, who are apparently still going, gets 4 stars. Delamitri's new album, apparently they're still going, gets 3 stars. In the TV recommendations, they also recommend the Friday Night Dinner tribute. And in the reviews, What Are We Feeding Our Kids gets 4 stars. Super Vet Special Saving My Dog gets 2 stars. Oh God, here we go. They want to sell you some men's wide fit driving shoes. Yours for just £20 a pair. And they come with a built-in heel guard. I could see Alan Partridge advertising those. In the cartoons today, Garfield and the Spider are having a chat. And the Spider is taking the piss out of Garfield. In Fred Bassett's very tired and doesn't want to play football. Fair dues. Wide driving shoes. Hashtag save Fred. In the straight to the point letters, only 4 of those today. All of them about Dominic Cummings. Guy Varley pops up in these pages often, says, "Did no one think to get Dominic Cummings to sign a non-disclosure agreement?" Helen Penny says a non-disclosure agreement would not stop him giving evidence to a parliamentary inquiry. Helen Penny says, "Mr. Cummings has shown how lucky we are. He no longer influences the government." Mike Haddock, real name, says, "Though he drove to Barnard Castle to test his eyesight, it seems to have affected Mr. Cummings' hindsight." And T-Bell says, "The Cummings are going to the failed government advisor." Fred has earned his rest. Good for you, Fred. Take that rest, says Slinkermeyer. Thanks, Fred, says Yuan. Hashtag save Fred. Hashtag Bassett and the Beano, says Red Tick Seed. Yeah. Today's recipe is strawberry almond and polenta cake. That sounds quite nice. They're trying to sell you retirement homes, a flaming willow plant, new covers for your sofa, turmeric and honey pills to cure your tiredness. In the sport, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer drawn in the same half of a Grand Slam for the first time. Martin Samuel says Ole looks like a Cardiff boss again, but with better players. Solskjaer's summer job. Ole must solve Pogba Poser, deal with De Gea, and bring back United's swagger, says Chris Wheeler. Could Spurs really get Poch back? Yeah, if they pay him enough. Ben Chilwell reveals, "This is why I came to Chelsea." Grealish deal makes City a superpower. And on the back page, more on Grealish. Jack's £100 million City boy. Okay, so that was the Daily Mail. Minus 69, 69, 69, 69. The quadruple negative nice is my rating for that. Grealish going to City. Grealish is not going to City. Fuck off. Grealish is going to City. Manchester City have made Grealish their number one midfield target and are prepared to make the Aston Villa star England's first £100 million player. Yeah, sorry, use of weapons, but I could see it happening. I could see it happening. Right. So anyway, this is the final episode of this week's run of the paper thing. Thank you all for joining me as ever. We'll be back on Monday for a Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. I just. Yep. We are, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be back at the normal time for the show. But yes, it may not be the normal time. It will be time to be announced for the Bank Holiday Monday show. Possibly late afternoon show. Use of weapons is not a bank holiday for me, so you best be on. Okay. Newspaper fund, as ever, is paypal.me/conquest of useless. Do consider chucking some coins in there and telling me what magazines you want in the Monday magazine, Bank Holiday Monday magazine special. Oh, yes, and Guybrush Tweetgood and his friend Minted Cream are playing Monkey Island 2 at 8:30 tonight on stream, so get involved with that. Thanks, Mr. Gump, thank you. Really appreciate it. Here is the link for the Discord. If you're not a member, join. I'm really loving that people are getting involved in the Discord. Just, whenever you see a piece of media that drives you slightly sad and mad, tell me about it. Oh, that red tick, see, that was yesterday. Oh, sorry, I've only just seen that. Right, I misread that as today. Okay, well, Guybrush did do that. Check out the VOD of that, I assume, because that is good. That would be good. I don't know why I didn't get a notification for that, but I should have. Anyway, thank you for being here. I will see you Monday. And thank you, Studying Fangirl, for the excellent art as well, which you posted in the Discord. See you, everyone. Have a stupendous weekend. Catch me on the Discord or on Twitter if you need me in the meantime. Cheers, all.